Hello and welcome to Affinity. I've got some freebies for you, which is a set of vignettes. And the way to download these is look down below here, there's a link and you click on that, and then there's another link, click on that and it'll download it. No hassles, very easy, all free. And then to upload it to your library, to get the library panel up, click on View, Studio and Library. And then if I go to Library here, click on this little hamburger here, import macros, and then it should appear something like this. So you double click that and it appears up here. Then you can open it up and that will see what you've got here. And first thing to note is it says set fill color white. The reason for this is that it doesn't set the fill color because macros, for whatever reason, can't yet set a fill color. The fill color appears when you use a shape. So down here you've got the shapes, and it maybe it'll show ellipse or rectangle or something like that. If I left click on that, the fill color appears up here, and at the moment it's red. And if you started with it red, you'll get interesting color effects, which you might like, but best not usually. And start off that white. Okay. Then when I start off here, I'll show us using it. First of all, click on this top one here, and I'll show you a lot of things with this. The first thing is it appears up here. The reason it appears up here is 1000 by 1000, so it's scaled to fit into the corner of any particular picture size. So if you've got a small image or a big image, it's still here. You can just stretch it out. Go to the Move tool here, and then the nodes appear so you can stretch it. You can't use the corner tool to stretch from corner to corner because it will scale proportionally. But I drag it down like this. Notice that it snaps nicely there. That's because I've got the snapping on up here. And there immediately you've got a vignette. If that's a little bit on the light or dark for you, up here you've got opacity set to 50%, and that's deliberately so that I can turn it down or turn it up to get the effect that I want. Then to understand a bit more about it, if you click on the little triangle there, you get two layers here. The bottom layer is a pixel layer, which means it is just the dark area for all around the edges. Then the bit in the middle is the curves layer. When I click on that with the Move tool selected, you can see the shape of it. But that also means that I can drag it round. So I can put this wherever I want it to be. I can change the shape of it. I can even rotate it and things like that. If I'm doing that, if I hit the Shift key, it will move it in clunks. So I can do whatever I want with that in terms of shaping that and positioning it. Also, because it says here vignette ellipse curve, the curve thing means this has been unbounded from being just an ellipse. It could also a curves. So if I go down to the node tool down here, I can then click on any of these here and change the shape of it. And you've got all these various shape effects, and I can double click extra points and change this to whatever shape I want it to be. So that gives you a lot of flexibility in that. Or I can go back up to the Move tool, and then it just acts like a normal kind of shape. And you can then drag this to wherever you want it to be. So let's have a look at something else. Let's delete that one. And see how easy it is just to get rid of the vignette like that. The rounded rectangle here, go up to the Move tool and just snap it across here, is because some pictures, and maybe this one, it's nicer to have, rather than an ellipse, just a kind of a rectangle. So I'll open that up here and I'll click on this one here to shape where I put it, and I can drag this in and out here. And if I double click on the line itself, a little dot appears there, which means I can change how rounded that is. What I can also do here, and with any other ellipse, is change the fade across this here. And for this I open up the rectangle, click on the Gaussian blur, and if I double click on that, this brings up the dialog here. And I can change how hard or soft it is, but it only goes up to about 100. But fortunately, I can type in the box there and I can change the number. So I could change that anything up to around 1000. So if I say 500, Now I've got a lot softer one, to the point where it's hardly noticeable. And this is often what you like in a vignette. You don't want the people to necessarily see that what you're doing. So there, that's a very useful one as well. Delete that one. What else have I got? There's a cloud, and a cloud is sort of like an ellipse, only it's got a rougher edge, which means it's less distinct, which means when you do this, the edges are just a little bit rougher, which means they're harder to detect, especially if you reduce the opacity, and so you get a light darkening of the edge, and it's not so obviously an oval shape there. The double star is again something like this, but it's even more jagged and so on. You can use this to fit to shapes and add extra things. So if I open that up and click on the shape itself, I can now sort of use this to move this around and say create an interesting shape within that area. And what else have I got? The last one I've got here is the heart. And you can do romantic things with this and click down here like this. And you can even do things like open this up here, say go down to the pixel layer, take that off, go to the heart itself and go to the fill color, and maybe make that a little red heart, which you could even put somewhere, you know, just to show what a lovely picture this is. So there we go, that's a lot of things that you can do with it. And there's one more extra thing. If I take that off here, and that is if I go to the fill color and I click on the fill and I change this not white but black, now when I draw a vignette here, so let's say I'll do the ellipse. Now what I can do is, though I can stretch this out, it's looking a bit odd at the moment because I sort of got dark on the inside because I did this inverted thing. But if I change the blend mode up here, which is multiply, change that to screen, now I've got an inverted vignette where it's white on the outside. In fact, with the opacity, if I turn that all the way up, now I've got this effect here where it's white on the outside and it just blends into the picture itself. So there we go. Hope that was useful. Whole bunch of vignettes and are very, very flexible, and there were things that you can do with them. So thank you very much for watching.